piccolo da 2, medio da 3, grande 4.
Piccola. Buongiorno and good morning from Palermo, Sicily. It is our first full day. We are starting off big. We're doing a whole day of Palermo and Sicilian street food. We're starting at the Capo Market, and I got myself some fresh pressed pomegranate juice, and it is so deliciously tart. Oof, it's so tart. I love it. Anyway, let's keep going. We're on the hunt for so many delicious Sicilian treats, and I'm hungry. Let's go.
I wasn't sure how lively it was going to be, if food would be out everywhere, but the market is lively even early in the morning. There's Vespas going through, so you got to watch out behind you. And there's just people that are so friendly, as y'all saw people in saying ciao and good morning. But look at all this food all around us, y'all. Basically all throughout the market as you walk around, there's stands everywhere selling different types of food, vegetables, fruits, meats, all of it.
I see some fried goodness behind us. Some fried pumpkin, fried broccoli. Okay, that took a minute, but we got a very, very fresh ARANCINI. We just stopped by Arianna, which is kind of a restaurant slash street stall, and there were so many locals getting so many of these and these like potato casserole things. It looked like the spot, so I'm really thrilled. I asked them if they had a vegetarian one, and I asked in Italian, so that was very proud of myself. And then they made one fresh for me, so let's dig in. Oh yeah, this is like delicious Italian fare food. What it is rice and some kind of filling. There's lots and lots of meat options. In fact, most of the ones out there were meat options, and she had to make me a vegetarian one. But this one has cheese and spinach. You can also get potato and I think just cheese. The inside is so warm and chewy, kind of gooey, soft, and the crust is very crunchy and pretty good and thick.
Wow, that is delicious. This one's a little flattened. I don't know if it started out round, but they're in the shape of like an orange basically, and that's actually how arancini got its name. The base is the Italian word for orange. Arania? Is that it? Arania? Something like that. One of the unique things about the street food markets and just the street markets in general here in Palermo is the influence of all these different cultures on the market. One of the biggest ones that you'll notice here is the Arab influence, the Arabian influence. You'll see a lot of eggplant type dishes, different spices that are, Arabian spices in the cuisine. And you really see it in the architecture here and some of the churches that we'll show you later on, but definitely in the food, which is what we're really here for.
Questa è pancetta con cipolla scamoglia, mangia e bene. Abbiamo anche lo spirino di spada.
This is the Sfincione, a light focaccia style type bread, tomato sauce on top of it, oregano, some anchovies. Looks delicious. They heat it up fresh for us. Let's dig in. Got the saltiness from the anchovy. It's just a thin layer of the tomato sauce. It's actually pretty light. I could eat like probably 3 of these right now.
Try it on the set. Just kidding. I could smell the oregano from behind the camera while he was talking to y'all. This whole thing was €2. Not bad at all. It's an excellent snack, I would say.
Came across the stand here. They have a bunch of fried goodies sitting out. He's gonna fry up some red pumpkin as well as some aubergine, sfincione, calamari. We're excited to have some fresh fried vegetables. I gotta go for the pumpkin first. I like eggplant, but pumpkin, look at that. Pretty simple. It's just got some salt, the batter, the pumpkin.
It's very mild. The pumpkin isn't like a super strong flavor, so it mostly is just salty and fried. And you got vegetables in there, so it counts.
Alright, I'm sticking to that eggplant. Honestly, very similar flavor to the pumpkin, just mainly because of the salt and the fried batter around it. We're going to take a break from eating. We're going to check out some of the sites here in Palermo. First with the Cathedral of Palermo.
Wow. Very short walk around the corner and we have come upon the Palermo Cathedral. You can't miss it. It is incredibly striking. And just like with the food before, the influence of all of Sicily's history and cultures is just on full display. is the symbol of Palermo, and this chapel is the chapel of Saint Rosalia, who is the patron saint of Palermo, and her bones are in an urn in there. It's a very elaborate kind of dedication to her. Beautiful.
There are a ton of, maybe like 5 different bell towers, and some of them are in different styles. Arabian style, and some of them in the Norman style as well. It's impressive. I think this one dates back to the 1100s.
And the gardens out front are gorgeous. There's orange trees and kind of palm trees. Beautiful kind of hedges shaped into different shapes. It's very peaceful. It also seems to be quite the spot for maybe like the youth to hang out. There are a lot of like high school age people just kind of hanging out. Anyway. A gorgeous sunny day.
It is. You had to take your coat off.
I did. I had to take a layer. I love this.
In December.
I love that.
Y'all, one of the things I love about Palermo are the alleys here and all the balconies. There's a little bit of privacy, but there's not really a ton of privacy, and it just looks so Sicilian. It's beautiful.
Getting our tourist on, we are at the Chiesa del Santissimo Salvatore. We are going up to the cupola, the dome, basically to get a beautiful view of the city. Tickets were €3 per person, and they did ask to see our green pass or our verification of vaccination. So we have been asked sometimes, we haven't been asked sometimes. They checked it here. Let's go to the top. We're about halfway up in this sort of sitting room, if you will. I was telling Jordan it looks like a very important conference of ghosts was just happening that we interrupted because they're all kind of around, but they all look quite old and a little spooky up here all by themselves. There's quite the spiral staircase. We're almost to the top. We've made it. There's the dome. I haven't even gotten to see the mountains really because we're always on street level and there's buildings all around, but it's beautiful.
Y'all, the views here are amazing. It helps you like honestly really appreciate the beauty of the place that you're in visiting. When you get up here and you see the Mediterranean Sea, you see the mountains, you see Mount Pellegrino out in the distance. So beautiful, and I can see why everybody always talks about wanting to come visit Sicily.
Maybe it's easy to kind of skip over these stops when you're out and about exploring a new town, but I say don't skip this one. There's so many new details to see up here. First, the views are gorgeous. You can see the ocean, you can see San Pellegrino in the distance and other places, but also you can see kind of life happening all around. You can see the gorgeous architectural details of the church we were just at, the cathedral rather, people's apartments, and kind of just what it all looks like from above, and totally worth €3 a person. This is beautiful.
Prego.
Welcome to Mercato di Ballarò. The Ballarò market is the largest and oldest market in all of Palermo, and it's got Muslim and Arabic influence. And we've got more food, y'all. Let's just cut to the chase. We have another of the arancina. This is the same flavor, basically spinach and cheese. That seems to be the most common non-meat option, but I think sometimes you can get potato or just cheese. But anyway, but we also have some crocchè.
Crocchè, yeah, it's basically potatoes, parsley, cheese, and they're super small. You can get them individually, or you can get them on a panelle sandwich, which is like a chickpea sandwich that we'll have later, and they can put that on there as well.
When you're walking around the markets, you'll often see all of these different things that look really pale or raw, and that's because they fry them to order. Even the fried veggies that we had earlier were really, really pale, and they cook them right when you want them, so they're hot and fresh and golden. When he handed this to us, he was like, wait 2 minutes before you eat it, because it's going to be really hot.
I think it's been 2 minutes now.
Yeah.
Let's dig in. I'm starting with the croquet. Cheers. That's perfect.
It's like the perfect Italian tater tot. That's exactly what it tastes like.
It smells so good. That crispy exterior, so good. Yo, this one is stuffed. Like double stuffed. I'll be honest though, I'm gonna talk a little bit quietly. I don't think it was cooked long enough because the inside's not super hot yet, or we waited way too long. Honestly, trying to get thumbnails and B-roll for this video, that it cooled off a little bit. It is like 40 degrees Fahrenheit here right now. Still tastes good.
I held it open for like 2 minutes.
She's the culprit. A little unfortunate. I'd say the majority of the Ballarò market is closed. I heard early in the morning, and I mean, it is bustling. People yelling out their little songs and chants to get your attention to buy their fresh fruits and vegetables and fish and meats. But right now, it's quite quiet.
Quite quiet indeed. I will say you can come and get a snack like we did, and it was good.
Totally.
There's some people hanging out, having like drinks or whatever, but produce and the activity, no, they're gone. What's next?
Yes, I think we're gonna go. There's a bunch of little shops on like the main walking street here that sell street food, and they have stuff sitting out as well. We're gonna go there and get the panino de panelle, something like that. Basically, it's that chickpea sandwich, and they put the croquets on there. We're gonna go get that. We'll get some desserts, some cannolo, all that good stuff. Let's go.
Just walked through the gorgeous 4 Points sort of square. It has these beautiful buildings that come together, but they're all curved in the middle. And right now there's a gorgeous Christmas tree, and they each have a little fountain, absolutely beautiful. And it's kind of the beginning of this street called Via Maqueda, and it is the place to be in the evening. The light coming off the buildings is gorgeous. Everybody is out having their aperitivo. It's beautiful. All right, welcome to Passami u Copu. It's just a little restaurant we found on the street that had what we wanted, which is panelle. I keep wanting to call it a cannelle, which makes me think of a cannoli. Anyway, I also got a nice little limonata, lemon soda, which I've been seeing everywhere. Aren't these cute? I couldn't resist.
This is the chickpea fritters in a bread. They're much softer than I thought they were gonna be. The bread is a little bit thick. Probably not a big fan of this bread, but the chickpea pieces itself, which you can actually get on their own in a basket, delicious.
Okay, so chickpeas are a staple of Jordan and I's diet. We're mostly vegetarian, and they are a great source of just sustenance in any meal. So I would be excited for this, but I kind of wasn't excited to try this because Jordan described it as fried chickpeas on a bun, and I'm like, that sounds dry. I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 10. Also, in case you haven't noticed, what?
Hard.
That was very harsh for me, but it's just fine. You know what I would do next time? I would just get these. I don't need the bread. In case you haven't noticed, Sicilian food is quite fried. And this is like the 4th fried item I've had today, so maybe that's part of it too. I could use some like a green salad or something.
All right, Ashley and I were talking, and I was like, man, that rating was harsh. And we were like, let's try it with just the chickpea fritter by itself. And honestly, that is very delicious, and we probably rate it like a 7 or an 8 out of 10 for just the fritter.
Yum! Oh, this whole table twisted. I almost threw our aperitivo in the street. Anyway, you can't be in Italy and not enjoy an aperitivo. So we got a couple of Aperol Spritz. It's my favorite. Just hanging out on the avenue. We have 1 stop left, so don't go away, but Chin. Ooh, so good. Also, I can't believe I'm sitting here in like 40-degree weather drinking this, but you know, when in Sicily. A beautiful sunny Sicilian day has turned into quite the charming Sicilian evening, and we are off to our very last stop for some sweet treats to end out this food tour. All right, welcome to dessert. We are here at the Cappello Bakery and Patisserie, if you will. And we have 2 very Sicilian desserts. We have un cannolo and a slice of cassata, which is sort of a traditional Sicilian, I'm gonna call it a cake. Cassata is I'm gonna read you my notes. Is one of Sicily's most famous desserts. It consists of a liquor-soaked Genoise sponge layered with ricotta, fruit preserves, and it's usually decorated with marzipan, but these actually look like candied fruits, like a candied orange and lime and maybe a cherry. Let's give it a go. That's very good. Honestly, it tastes like a kind of an extra sweet cheesecake. There's not much of a crust on the bottom. I guess that's the soaked sponge at the very bottom, but it's quite thin. Yeah, I like this. I feel like this would be really good with some coffee. The cassata might be the most traditional dessert, but the cannolo is certainly the most famous. I feel like almost anybody in the world has heard of or seen a cannolo. Fun fact, if you're talking about just one, it's a cannolo. If you're talking about multiple, cannoli. In the US, we would just call this a cannoli because that's just how we roll, but a single one is a cannolo. Sicily is where the cannolo was born. So this is a authentic Sicilian-made cannolo. It's got a little bit of chocolate chips in there, some ricotta cheese filling, dusted with sugar, all in a crunchy shell. Let's give it a go. This shell is a lot more of a crumbly texture than I've had. I've only had like a small handful of cannolos in my life. When we went to Boston, we tried one from the famous bakery there, and the shell was a lot crispier, crunchier, whereas this one is quite almost more like a cookie, you know? It's still really nice.
That's delicious, y'all. I'm giggling because I just realized I should have saved that cherry for Ashley because she loves cherries that come with anything, and it was so good. It was delicious. And I'm a little bit sad for Ashley. I might have to order another one just so she can have that cherry.
That's rude. You didn't need to tell me that. You didn't need to
so
mention
good.
it at all.
I feel so bad.
You didn't even mention it.
Yo, that's delicious. It is kind of like a cheesecake. It almost has the same like texture of the filling in the cannolo, a little bit different. It's cold. It's very sweet. It is a very decadent dessert. Yo, we have had just a wonderful time eating all of the street food here, drinking the drinks, and all of the desserts. But also, if you're a meat eater, they have a ton of meat-based street food dishes here as well that we didn't show or try. They have literally an organ sandwich with like lungs and livers on bread. It's supposed to be delicious. They have intestines on a stick with scallions and stuff inside of it. And they have arancini and different things with meat and ragu inside that's supposed to be delicious. Obviously, we didn't take y'all and show y'all those, but if you're here and you like meat, you can try those different street food items as well. Y'all, we're gonna sit here and enjoy the rest of this dessert. This is a wonderful time in Palermo, Sicily, and we'll see y'all in the next one as we keep going places. I'm sorry about the cherry.
The dog does not want to be my friend. Let's go.
This video, I'm drooling. Sorry. It's so good.